Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Breakthrough Junior Tips and Tricks video. I'm so happy to be back. It's really great to have an upload schedule that is more than once every couple months. Today we'll be talking about yet another question that I've gotten a lot from you guys, which is about audio in my video. And before I begin, I want to talk a little bit more about audio. If you watched my previous video, which is about the animation and editing part of the video, you know that I talked about how the filmmaking aspect of the Breakthrough Junior Challenge is not as important as the education and science communication part. Remember, this is a science communication contest, so your content should come first before any of your filmmaking does. However, when we're talking about filmmaking, audio is often the part that I feel like gets neglected the most when people talk about filmmaking in general. But it's really important because remember, you're making a video where you're trying to explain something to someone else, and if they can't hear you properly or they're distracted by you, it's not going to really help you explain your topic. So the questions that I've gotten most about audio is, how did I record my voice in my video? How did I use sound effects and where do I get them? And how did I use my music and where did I get my music from? And hopefully in this video I can answer some of these questions. And remember, this is just my advice, so you can feel free to use it as you see fit, and hopefully it benefits you in any way, shape, or form. So first we're going to talk about how I recorded my voice in my video. So when you're recording your voice, I like to think that there's typically like 3 different ways to record your voice. 1, you can record your voice outdoors, 1, you can record your voice indoors, and 1, you can record your voice in a voiceover. So the first 2, outdoors and indoors, usually involve you talking into a camera and recording your voice as well. So it's really important that both outdoors and indoors that you keep in mind that you may also be recording background noises. For instance, people talking or steps in the background or just regular background noises that you might not be paying attention to. And this is actually like a really annoying thing when you're recording audio, as I'm sure you guys know, but I do have some tips that might be helpful for you guys. So when I recorded my video, I actually used my phone and I kept it on myself underneath my shirt, and I had it recording the audio as well as my camera. That way in post, I use the camera video and the phone audio and put them together to make it sound a lot more clear than if I just recorded it on my camera. So using an external recorder, for instance a microphone or a phone or anything in general, is usually a really good way to make sure you block out as much external noise as possible, make your voice really clear. But when you're using an external recorder, it's always best to test out the recording first before you record your actual video to make sure that you're speaking at the right volume. Make sure you do this, it will save you a lot of time in case you mess something up near the beginning. And the other way to record audio is through a voiceover. Now a voiceover is typically when you have something shot or something animated, but you don't have a voice underneath it and you want to use your voice to explain it. Well, it's really easy. You can just go to your room or somewhere quiet and record on anything and put your audio right underneath it. Voiceovers are a great way to piece things together and make your videos flow smoothly. Again, make sure that your voice is balanced between all parts of your video, so some parts of your video aren't louder or softer than others. So the next part of the question that I got was, how did I get sound effects and how do I use them? Well, sound effects are really useful when you're making a video because adding sound effects inherently makes things pop more to the audience. For instance, if I were to have a message above my head, it would be a lot more impactful if I had a sound effect that went with it, as opposed to, just silence. So sound effects are really nice for giving that extra flair to your video and can make your video more impactful for the audience. Now you can find sound effects almost anywhere on the internet, but I suggest using YouTube because most stuff is on YouTube. Just search up the sound effect you need and make sure that it's royalty free or it's free for you to use, because you want to make sure that you have permission to use this audio so that you're not plagiarizing anyone or running into any copyright violations. Now this kind of goes into the next topic in this question, which is music. Now music is probably the second most important thing in audio besides your voice. When you're adding music, you're basically choosing something that sets the mood of your video and gives the audience something to build off of when they're listening to what you're saying. So when you're choosing music, it's really important that you fit the theme of what you're trying to do. And also music is really beneficial because, say if you mess up in your audio, for instance if something is a little louder in the background than you thought it would be, you can use the music to kind of tune it out a little bit so it can make your voice pop out even more. So in my video last year, I used a more cinematic, emotional music because I really wanted to match the awe that I felt around science and exploration. When Galileo became the first person in human history to point a telescope to the stars, he saw the moons of Jupiter, the rings of Saturn. Neutrino astronomy is the next step in human discovery, and who knows what we'll find next. But you, who might have a different idea, might choose different music. For instance, if you want to go more the educational, techie route, you can choose music that is more upbeat or something. And you can find music the same way that you find sound effects, through YouTube or through the internet. YouTube actually has the YouTube audio library, which has a lot of free to use music that you can use in your videos. Or you can search for royalty-free music that's online and use that music as you see fit. So those are basically all the tips that I have for recording audio in your video. I hope that this was useful to you. Now this is part 2 out of, I think, 3 parts that I'll be doing this year for this year's Breakthrough Junior Challenge tips and tricks. The last part is going to be a little different. I will actually be doing a little Q&A session with you guys. So if you want to ask any questions about the Breakthrough Junior Challenge or anything in general, just leave some questions below in the comments section, and in the next 2 to 3 days, I will gather the questions that I think are the most important and answer as many as I can in my last video. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Remember to like and subscribe because it makes me very happy when I see my internet points go up by 1 as opposed to down. And thank you guys so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe, and good luck. Bye.